They laughed at me when I walked into the lobby of the nursing home, my shirt wrinkled, shoes worn, face tired from a life that had carved its stories into every line. A couple of residents looked away politely, but the staff? They smirked. One young woman whispered something behind her hand, and I could hear the words echo in my head. Probably another lonely old man trying to scam a free meal. They didn't know who I was. They didn't know what I'd lost. And they definitely didn't know what I'd come to take back. Just a few months ago, I was sleeping in my truck, wrapped in a thin blanket that didn't even pretend to fight the cold. My fingers were numb, my pride frozen. Not because life had dealt me a bad hand, but because my own children had folded the cards and walked away. Dad, it's just too much. You're a burden. That word hit harder than the pavement outside my son's house, where he left me standing with 2 garbage bags and no explanation. I didn't fight back. I didn't beg. I just walked. And while I walked, I remembered. Not the birthdays or holidays, but the times I had gone without so they could have more. The second job I took when their mother passed. The hours I spent fixing things they broke, paying debts they made. All of it vanished the moment I became inconvenient. So I disappeared from their lives, but not from the world. What they never knew, what no one knew, was the secret I'd been keeping for nearly a decade. A forgotten stock I'd invested in back in the 90s, a silly little tech company nobody believed in. I'd left it alone, untouched, never even checked the numbers. And when the world forgot about me, I remembered it. One night, hungry and cold in the back of a truck stop parking lot, I pulled out the dusty envelope with the login details. Just curiosity. That's all. But what I saw changed everything. 8 figures. That number didn't feel real. But it was. The money was mine, had always been mine. And I'd been sleeping beside it like a king disguised as a beggar. Now, I wasn't looking for revenge. Not at first. I just wanted peace. A place to live where I wasn't unwanted. But when I found out my daughter had moved my things into the nursing home storage and told the staff not to admit me unless I paid, full out of pocket, something in me snapped. She worked there. My son, too. Administrators, pretending to care about people they secretly mocked. And it hit me, this wasn't just rejection. It was insult. Humiliation. They thought I was too old, too poor, too helpless to fight back. So I bought the building. Quietly, through a shell company. No press, no announcement. Within a week, I had control of the board. 2 more weeks, and I owned the land it sat on. And then the fun began. I raised the rent, not for the residents who needed help, no. Their fees dropped. But for the staff? For the administrators who padded their paychecks while ignoring complaints and overcharging patients? Their offices were now luxury priced. Their benefits slashed. And every single management position had to reapply, on video, to the board I controlled behind a false name. They didn't recognize me at first. It had been months, and I looked different, cleaner, stronger, dressed in clothes that fit. But when my daughter walked into the final interview and saw me sitting behind the conference table, her face turned ghost white. You? Dad. I didn't respond. I just looked at her, calm and silent, while she fumbled through lies about why she'd done what she did. My son followed, same panic, same shame. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I just let them speak and watched them fall. In the end, I didn't fire them. I gave them what they gave me. A choice. Stay and work, at half the pay, full effort, no special treatment, or leave with nothing. They stayed, of course. Pride doesn't pay rent. Now I walk those halls like a ghost they can't ignore. I talk to the residents, bring them books, snacks, warmth. They call me Mr. G, not knowing the full story, just that the place feels better now. Kinder, safer. Sometimes, one of them tells me how their own kids don't visit anymore, and I just nod, handing them a cup of tea. They don't know that I sleep upstairs in the same room my daughter once said I didn't deserve. They don't know that the man they ignored changed everything from the shadows. But late at night, when the staff walks past my door, they lower their voices. They know now. They know who I am. And every whisper they speak carries fear, respect, and something else, regret. Because the man they thought was a burden turned out to be the backbone of everything they stood on. And maybe, just maybe, that's the real lesson. Sometimes, the quietest ones in the room are the ones holding all the power. And sometimes, the people you leave behind are the ones you'll be forced to answer to when the tables turn. Now the world thinks I disappeared. But really? I just stopped knocking and started building my own door. And on the other side, I'm not the one asking for help anymore. I'm the one deciding who deserves it.